Okay, you know what dawned on me is that I did not mention what equipment would be needed for a camping van adventure in the cold, or what did I use, what did I need. Okay, I guess I'll start with clothing. Layers. I mean, that's pretty standard, right? I had a lot of layers, again, as I'm a skier. So, like this plus wool layers, very helpful. I wore about 3 layers plus a, full-length coat with hood, quite important. Boots. I did not have great boots, and that was the biggest issue of me being able to maintain and stay outside in the cold. My boots got packed somewhere, I don't know where, and so I went on Facebook Marketplace and got a pair just before getting here. So I'm grateful that I had something, and at the same time, they definitely were not waterproof as I thought that they would be. And despite wearing like nice, warm merino warm socks and whatever, couple layers of socks and such, still I got really wet, and keeping my feet warm was the most difficult thing to do. So foot warmers would have been nice. That would have been smart. I picked up a couple packs of hand warmers randomly, which I'm grateful that I had. Not enough for every day, but I could use them sparingly and wisely. And so hand warmers, foot warmers, those are clutch for sure, and really actually waterproof boots. If you're going anywhere where you're getting snow, I strongly recommend to get snowshoes. I mean, those saved me a ton. Had I not had them, it really would have been a problem. Again, because my boots were not very waterproof, and the snow was definitely, it was over 9 inches by the end, in some places it was a foot. So, strongly recommend snowshoes. Cannot overemphasize that. I also had a walking stick, which was very important for deep snow, so you can know what's what, like knowing where really deep, buried rocks were, really large rocks, or where you're at, there are some small trees and such. So definitely using a hiking stick, or having some sort of you can find it, a branch or what have you. But a hiking stick definitely helps. And I also had a Mr. Buddy heater, a little one, very small one. It does use propane, which I did stock up on several of those canisters. I did have those with me. I found that those last for about 5 hours total per canister, so those were really helpful to use in terms of staying warm. I also had an electric blanket, and those actually don't take up too much energy from the battery I have in here, so that's another option. And you can also get ones that are pretty low wattage, which for my van at least, I need to keep an eye on the wattage. So that was something else I used. And then from time to time I had to turn on my car also just to make sure that it was still working in the very cold elements. So that was, something else. I tried not to, right? I don't want to. Ideally, I'm turning on the car at least often as possible to not, use more fuel and pollution and such, but at times it was needed for warmth, and so I did indeed use it. So those were the big ones. Oh, having a shovel, very important, very important. Bring a shovel, a small one, an ice scraper, but a shovel was like really important. Ultimately though, I used my snowshoes to stomp down the snow, like outside my van or wherever, like where I need to get in and out. more so than I use the shovel, to be honest. So I can't express, like, if I had been in that situation without snowshoes, like, there's no way I could have shoveled. I mean, maybe. I really would have been doing it like 8 hours a day, shoveling a path for both my tires to get out. So, again, the snowshoes are where it's at. If you're going somewhere and there's a potential of a lot of snow and you're camping out, I really, really strongly recommend that you get yourself a pair of snowshoes. It's worth it. So I guess that's the biggest takeaway is snowshoes are awesome. They don't take up a ton of space, obviously, which you want to be mindful about when you're living in a van. But the other thing that was really hugely helpful is I have a beanie hat that has one of those headlamps on it that you can just recharge, or like plugs into a USB, and that was way helpful. Like, I got one for my stepdad, I don't know, for Christmas a few years ago. He never used it, and so as I was getting ready for this, he was like, oh, you can use this, and I was like, oh yeah, that'll be helpful. And like, wow, was that helpful. It was super helpful. So you can also use a headlamp. I didn't have one of those, but the beanie, having the warmth as well, along with that flashlight situation, so I wasn't carrying one that can be kind of heavy. It was really clutch. So those are my tips for traveling in the cold weather. Also a true sleeping bag that actually is meant for and can, handle below freezing temperatures. That thing kept me incredibly warm. I could just snuggle up in there and have that, hood over me, and that definitely kept me warm in below. It was definitely in the 20s Fahrenheit. So again, that kept me warm, and that was really important too. So just adding that to here in case helpful for anybody. All right, see you later.